So I used to get the double quarter pounder with cheese, and I would get super size me, please. And then I would get the caramel sundae on the side with extra caramel sauce, extra peanuts. Then I had the nerve. Okay, I would get chicken nuggets on the side as well. I would eat like that every day though. I worked at McDonald's, and I think that was my only like actual job.
I was a person, go through Wendy's, sit in the parking lot, and just to see if I was still hungry, if I needed to go back again.
Oh, you were worse than me.
Welcome back to season 2, Talking with Tiffany. Today I have a very special guest. And as you guys know, I always like to be singing people on like da 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 da, but she's the real singer. And I'm super excited. This topic today is about self-help. And I think she really brings the essence to what that is, and as we are as women, and what that looks like for us. And so, introducing Keaira Lashae, a woman of many talents. She's a singer, she's a songwriter, she is a self-made millionaire. Her and her husband, they have 3 beautiful kids. They have over 2 million supporters on their social media. They are thebomb.com. I'm going to allow her to tell more about herself as she comes on. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Keaira Lashae.
I love the singing. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Amazing. Happy to be here. Happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. You were someone that I met about a year ago, and I didn't even know who you were, what you did, but I remember speaking to you briefly, and it was like, oh, okay. And I fell in love with your mom.
Yeah.
And then, of course,
who doesn't?
Right?
Who doesn't? Like,
who wouldn't fall in love with her seed, like her beautiful seed? Beautiful. So, can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Man, there's lots to talk about, but to shorten it, I am most importantly a mommy of 3 beautiful girls. I'm a wife to my high school sweetheart. I am a CEO of multi-million dollar businesses, brands, if you will, that we built from the ground up with the support of our community, our amazing community. I started off with YouTube as a singer, and my views went crazy over there. And I also did dance fitness. I've been a dancer my whole life. I've done tours. I've done tours as a singer. I've done tours as a dancer, both. I've done tours as a choreographer, but I'm a singer-songwriter, a dancer, choreographer as well, and definitely a fitness, what they like to say, enthusiast. And I've helped millions of people around the world lose weight, build confidence. That's one of my favorite things to do, is to build people's confidence and make them feel wonderful about themselves, because everybody deserves that. So
Right.
that's just me in a very small nutshell.
Oh, I love that. I love that you are not only, because I think one of the things I fell in love with is that I remember when you first posted about some music, and I didn't know you were a singer.
Yeah.
And I hurry up and downloaded your album because I'm like, I love music.
Thank you.
And I just was like, oh my God, oh, okay, this is my R&B vibe. This is back in the day, like, okay, right? Getting that, and then going a little bit further, and I saw like you doing the supplements, but then I also saw you exercising, and I'm like, oh, this is it. Like, this keeps somebody actually wanting to do something, because we often can go to the club and shake that body, but then, Monday through Friday, you're like, I'm gonna pass.
Right. So yeah, and that's a really good point. A lot of people love to dance, and that's one of my favorite ways to stay in shape. And being a dancer, I'm like, oh, that's super easy. I can get people in shape doing what I love and keep myself in shape at the same time. Yeah, so I definitely can attest to that, because nobody wants to do boring workouts. Like, nobody wants to. If you're going to be in pain, make it worth it, right? If you're going to be sore, make it worth it. So we have an online gym, a fitness app called If You Can Move. And it is absolutely amazing. The community is like chef's kiss because it's a lot of women in there like me and you. We're all the same. We want to better ourselves every single day, right? Now, how much we want to better ourselves is up to the person, right? Is up to the
Right.
individual, but we have lots of fun workouts on there, a variety, mostly dance fitness. And that's how I got really popular in fitness with dance because people are like, "Oh, I can shake my booty. I could
Yeah.
do that." And to lose weight doing it, girl.
We're gonna get into that because I you made me like, okay, I was like, oh, I got bands. Oh, I could do something with these bands and stuff. The so I brought you on because I think one of the things you and I actually got to appear on your show.
Yes, and
And
y'all killed it, by the way.
thank you. And so one of the things you talked about was health, but and I saw it in a different way. And
Mhm,
so I was like, well, what is self-help? And I looked it up and I said, it's the ability to care for oneself and awareness of self-control, self-reliance, order to achieve, maintain, and promote optimal health and well-being.
mhm.
And the cool thing about when I was speaking with you guys is a lot of things that you guys talked about was actually putting self-health out into your legacy and how you guys actually do your family and how you guys take care of yourself. So, my first question is like what has your experience been with self-help in your life now as an adult versus in your earlier years?
Wow. Well, one of the most important I'm not even gonna lie to you, one of the most important things that I've learned about self-help is boundaries. So, not even just the physical aspect of getting up and working out, right? That's normal, like, we know that. But setting boundaries for yourself so that you don't drive yourself crazy because, like,
Right.
growing up, I just didn't know how to say no to people. I always was like, "Okay, yeah, I could do that." I have a lot of energy, so I'm like, "Yeah, I could do that." If I care for you, I'm gonna try my best to do as much as I
Yeah.
can if you need that from me, right? So, I went so hard all the time that I started getting myself sick from doing it, from just like always spreading myself too thin. So I've
Mhm.
learned that, that self-health means looking out for yourself, even if it means saying no sometimes, and even if
Yeah.
it means setting boundaries with people that you love, even if it makes them upset, because it will. It'll
Right.
make you upset. But that's one of my biggest things that I've learned as an adult is to set boundaries and then to take care of yourself. Like do things that you love, do things that make you happy. Don't go so hard because as a business owner, it's really easy to like drain yourself and to and to burn the candle at both ends as they would say. but
Yeah.
but you can't do that and expect to be successful in business or in life or in your relationships, and that's any relationship, not just your romantic relationships, but maybe your family or your
Right.
friendship, things like that. So yeah, just setting boundaries, learning to rest. Learning to rest, that's really important when it comes to self-health. Uh, and like I said, doing things that you absolutely enjoy, things that you're passionate about, because that'll, make you wake up every day with a purpose. You know what I mean? So,
Right. So, if you could compare like earlier years, right? What
ooh.
type of effect do you think that you're like and it sounds like there was probably a negative effect. What cuz I think sometimes with our viewers, we don't necessarily it doesn't click cuz a lot of times our mind will play something back in the memory in like a deep file system, right? And you're like, "Oh, I didn't even know I did that back then," right? With you when it came to self-help and even just like when it includes like just mental well-being and working out and stuff like that cuz you said you've been a dancer your whole life.
Yeah.
When did that like in your earlier life, what did that look like as you not being aware of that?
Well, besides, like I said, just not saying no to people, like always making myself available for everybody. And that caused me to have a stomach ulcer. I'll never forget this moment. So I was supposed to do my friend's hair, right? Because I used to do hair. Okay. I used to do hair down. Okay. And so I was just, I'm in school, I have rehearsals, and I've always been like this. I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. So,
Mhm.
I've always worked really hard at that. So I didn't know how to say no. And my friend was like, "Can you do my hair?" I'm dead tired, but I'm like, "Oh yeah, sure." Like a crazy person. And next thing you know, so many of those moments came to this moment where I had this ulcer in my stomach, and I just had this pain in my stomach like somebody was stabbing me every time I took a breath. And I was just like, what is this? To the point I'm crawling on the ground. My
Oh,
mom's not there. I can't call her because I can't really speak. She's at work. And so I'm like, what am I really about to die right here on this floor right now?
oh God.
No, this cannot be the way I'm going out. I can't do this right now. So I'm like, I don't deserve this. So anyways, I finally, get to my phone. I literally crawled to my phone because I had one of those little phones. I had my own line, in my room. So I
Ditto.
called my mom and she called, her partner at the time. And he came in because he was at the house. He came in the room and he's just like, what is going on? And so he was able to help me out. And my mom, when she got there, she was able to help me out. And basically, they were like, you need to chill. You need to
Wow.
relax. You need to learn how to say no. You're burning
Yeah.
yourself to, you're doing too much. You're wearing
That
yourself thin.
is, you're so right. And as you're saying that, I'm like, because I have congestive heart failure. And so I too used to do hair, I do lashes and all that. Like, and I'm constantly, because I think one thing that doesn't help is that you're not really confident in the unlimited money supply, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like if I need to be able to see the stream coming
Hmm.
in order to know that there's still water to drink. And so,
Well, that too. And just again, trying to be there for everybody,
right, right.
just like wanting to be there for people that you care about and not wanting,
Absolutely.
so that was a struggle. And then also I used to eat like crap. Like,
Go into that because you actually have supplements and stuff like that. What tell us like what that looks like because
yeah.
people now see you now and
Yeah.
they're like, "Oh, this health enthusiast, right?" But
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Nah, I used to
Right?
eat the BS."
I used to eat crazy. I mean, I when I was 14, I worked at McDonald's, and I think that was my only like actual job. But I worked at McDonald's, and I used to get the double quarter. Listen, I remember this order, okay? Because I used to get it every day. This is ridiculous. So I used to get the double quarter pounder with cheese, and I would get super size me, please. And then I would get the caramel sundae on the side with extra caramel sauce, extra peanuts. Then I had the nerve. Okay, I would get chicken nuggets on the side as well. Then I had the nerve, right? To dip my fries, I would make my own little French fry sauce with the mayo and the ketchup. ketchup, girl, a whole mess. Like I would eat like that every day, though. I mean, but I
Wow.
was 14. But I started to like get the little chunky cheeks and stuff, and my mom was like, "Wait a minute, now you gotta slow down." And then also, I think my as they would say, my come to Jesus moment was just seeing, in the neighborhood that I grew up in, seeing so many people that were sick in, growing up, like seeing like, oh, the lady down the street is sick. I'm noticing like the common denominator, this lady, this guy, this neighbor, the common denominator was that they all ate like trash. And I knew it because I would see what they would eat. You know what I mean? They're our neighbors, so we would always say, "You want to come
Right.
on with a fish fry, the fried this, fried that," and I'm just like, "Oh yeah, no, I can't. I don't want to see myself going down this route." And then as far as like the gyms and stuff, I used to think that gyms were for rich people only
Oh,
because we couldn't afford to go to the gym. So I'm like, "Oh yeah, it must be for rich people." So
wow.
I would create workouts in my living room since I was a kid. We'd had this mirror in the living room, and I would create workouts in there, and I would just do my own workouts. I would, basically talk to the mirror like I was talking to a class. And then yeah, and also I would get jobs. I did have more jobs, but they were fun, so it never seemed like a job. I would work at a gym so that I could go to the gym for
Gotcha.
free. I would have a gym space to go work out for free. And doing that, I definitely turned into a health
Gotcha.
health enthusiast, just like seeing my community go down in flames, diabetes, hypertension, all these things. And I was like, I don't want no parts of that. And I want to be able to help people to not be like that. So that's what got me into fitness, besides the fact that I wanted to also be able to sing and dance at the same time without running out of breath. So,
Oh my God. So one of the things that you just stood out that said, first of all, I was a McDonald's fiend too. And I don't think I've eaten McDonald's since 2015
mhm,
now, but one thing I think, and it's important for the audience to know is that it's important to actually recognize what type of environment you are, because they say you are a product of your environment. And what I
absolutely.
love that you're speaking to is that I saw my environment, so I was aware of what I was in, and I found a new environment to place myself in, and I created that in my living room. And I think a lot of us
Yeah.
struggle with taking ourselves out of what you see
Mhm,
instead of being the product, and we don't recognize the product is usually multiplied. It's
mhm.
not necessarily just the sum of something, because the sum is just you, but then your kids might turn out like that. And I think
Absolutely.
also just it's in a mental way, right? As well. And so that's one thing that you just said that stood out to me, because I was raised around women that had big old boobs, everybody was overweight, and I was like, I'll never get like that. And then in 2014, I went into heart failure again. I gained like 80 pounds, and I was like 216 pounds.
Wow.
And usually people be like, "What? Where?" And I was like,
Right.
"Yeah,
I don't see it, but yeah.
it was me." And I had to get the gastric sleeve because
Mhm.
of the heart doctors telling me that. And I remember I had to make a psychological choice
Yes.
that I had to take myself out of the environment that was now creating a product of me and put myself in a new environment, because now my body needed to adjust. And I remember in the first month, I lost like 50 pounds.
Oh, wow.
And I remember the doctor said that's because it didn't belong on you, and understanding that. But then I think it's so hard for people to just do the easy thing where it's just like, let me go to McDonald's, let me go to this,
Yeah.
let me just grab
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So, what are your, because you also have supplements and stuff like that. What are your go to now that you, and what was that? How did you change that?
So, you know that saying, be the change that you want to see?
Hmm.
That's what I did. I was like, you know what? I don't want to be this. And I want to help people in my community, people that look like me, everyone else too, of course, but definitely people that look like me. I want to see them healthy, and I want to see them thriving, and I want to see them be able to live to see their children grow up. You know what I mean? Play with their kids. A lot of times when you see parents, some of these parents, they can't even get up and play with their children. You know what I'm saying? They be too tired or they be too heavy. Like they be like, I'm not about to do all that. But
Right.
me, when I'm at the playground, I'm literally, you're like, well, who's the kid? Because who's the kid and who's the mom? Because I'm on the jungle gym, like climbing with the girls. But my go-to, first of all, let me say this: discipline over motivation. Okay. And I say this because a lot of times it's hard to find motivation every single day, because you're not going to be able to pull motivation every day. So when you don't have that motivation, guess what you have? Discipline,
Yes.
right? So discipline is key, right? The moments where, because I get up and train every morning at 4 a.m. And yeah, I know everybody's like, what is wrong with you, girl? But that's my me time. So part of my go to is having that me time. That's really important to me. Because my days are so busy, I make time. I make an appointment. I make a date for myself. That is
Right.
really crucial for me. You know what I mean? So I train at 4. I get up, I take my energy rush, which is from justmovesupplements.com, our vegan supplement brand. We have amazing proteins that taste like desserts, literally.
Yes.
So it's really easy to stay consistent with those. But I'll drink the energy rush, get my energy up for the gym because it's 4 in the morning. Okay. And and then after that, I do my proteins for my muscle recovery and for helping me to tone my muscles. And I also drink our fat burner. That's new, that's coming out. So other people don't have access to it just yet, but it's almost out. And yeah, I take my supplements daily because that's really uh helpful in my what do you call it, results, basically helpful in maximizing the results that I want to see in my body. I've had 3 kids, And you know how it is because you
Yeah.
have had children too. It's not always easy to snap it back, you know, girl. You be like,
Right. And your youngest is 2, right?
yes,
Yes. So the
yes.
body that body look good, girl.
Thank you, girl. No, so, and every time I have a kid, I'll be like, well, do I really want to get back in shape? Mm. But but I know that I motivate, millions of women across the world. And so I'm like, you know what? And I what's crazy is you see these people that may have never had any type of struggle to lose weight or to get in shape. And they're saying, I understand how you feel. No, you don't. You don't know what I feel. So
Right.
you can't push me to do better because you've never been here in this space. Well, I have. I've been there 3 times. Okay. And I remember after my first baby, I'll never forget after Peja, my oldest is 8. I remember I gained 60 pounds with her.
Mm.
And I'm 5'2", I'm small. I'm small. 5'2". I was about almost 200. I was like 185, 190, something like that, right? And having her, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get back in shape. Oh, it wasn't as easy as I thought it was. And I remember working out to myself. I was looking at my own workouts. I'm working out with myself, and I am crying because I'm like, I
Oh,
know I can do it because that's me.
wow. Oh, wow. You just literally just hit something for me because I think people don't recognize that you can see yourself
Man,
and still not believe in yourself.
man, man. I literally was like, I don't know whether to be discouraged or encouraged because that's me. Here I am, my abs are popping. I'm looking at the TV like frustrated, and I'll never forget finishing the first. I couldn't finish the first work. I couldn't finish the workouts because my hips were jacked up from having her, and I just couldn't do it. So when I finally finished the first workout, after pregnancy, after delivery, I cried on my mother's floor. I was so happy. I was like, okay, I can at least finish the workout. That's good. So I took it one day at a time, one move at a time, one exercise at a time, one breath at a time, and I got back in shape. And that's what I try to tell everyone because sometimes you think that you get so far gone that you will never get to
Yeah.
your goals, and that is not true. It might be hard as hell, but it is possible. You understand? So you have to see it. If you
Yeah.
can see it, you can be it. I know that
Yeah.
sounds so cheesy, but it is so true. If you can, like, I'm like, nah, that's me. I know I can be that girl because that's
Yeah.
me.
Absolutely. And I think it also brings a testament to not only can if you can see it, you have to believe it. You
Yeah,
have to
you have
you
to.
have to now remember that, like you said, that's me. I've been there.
Mhm.
Um, and I can get there again, but what will I have to sacrifice
That part.
in order to get there? And so I love that. So getting into, because I am a clinical sexologist, and
Yeah.
this is a good question for women with you having just a 2-year-old and now having 3 kids.
Mhm.
What was postpartum
Mm.
like? And then in when you think about health in all ways, mentally and physically, how did that affect you?
Postpartum, especially after my first baby, was very difficult for me. I definitely had postpartum depression. I was dealing with trying to figure out, like, who is this? I was unrecognizable to myself because my
Mm.
body was not what I was used to. I even, my husband, oh my God, you couldn't tell him that I wasn't the sexiest thing on on the planet. But I was like, stop. Let me get back in shape. And he's like, baby, you just had my child. You are the sexiest I've ever seen you. So that
Wow.
helped. But I was just like, who is this? You
Right.
know what I mean? So I definitely dealt with having to talk to myself nice. Like I always say, talk to me nice. I had to talk to myself really nicely. I had to continue to encourage myself every day. And I tried to surround myself with people that were positive. And
Yeah.
I also went back again and I watched a lot of my stuff because I'm like, wait a minute. I build people's confidence all the time. Let me go watch this.
Yeah.
And I watched myself. I know that sounds crazy, but it really did help. And just again, like I said, taking it one day at a time and being graceful with myself. A
Yeah.
lot of times we beat ourselves up so bad because we're not where we want to be. And I always say, love who you are while working on who you want to be.
Yes.
Right. So, like, because of too many times the self hatred can be real, especially during postpartum. So, yeah, I took every day and I tried to say something positive, even if it was just one thing, something positive about myself. And I visualized my happiness again. And I think too, what I struggled with was, again, my life is different now. I
Yeah.
can't just put on this halter top today because, girl, it don't fit the same. But I had to tell myself, "That's okay." Like, "Girl, you just had a whole human come out of you." Like,
Right.
stop, and just be realistic.
Yeah. You're right. You're
Like, too
so
many
right.
too many times we look at social media, and I'm not even a person that looks at social media, even though I'm on it a lot. Like, this my job, but, like, I know what social media is. For me, it's a tool, right? And so, a lot of times, unfortunately, to other people, it is life. And so they see these women snap back into shape, but they don't realize that sometimes they go and they get surgery and they don't talk about it, or they go
Right.
and they take some crazy pills and they don't talk about that. They just say, "Look at me," and then make other people, like normal women, feel crazy. Like,
Right.
"Oh, how she snapped back? She lost 50 pounds in 2 weeks." Like, girl, no, she did.
Absolutely.
So,
And I like that you said that it's a tool, and I think people
yeah.
use social media as a home. They start to reside in it
Oh
instead
yeah.
of instead of just actually visiting it.
Yeah.
And
Visit and
that
go home, girl.
yeah, they're right.
Get out of there.
You are so right. Uh, so they say that health is wealth,
Absolutely.
right? And you literally have actually turned that into actually real things. Like and but tell us how both have impacted you, where you have created healthy relationships and even in your home and with your children. I saw how you guys parent your children. I saw how you guys this like are they made me like, oh, okay, maybe I need to talk a little bit nicer. Like, how are you feeling? And I'm big on that, but I have a teenager right now, and it's just
Right.
like it's like a pray for me. But it's also that I saw like you guys actually take time and you were at work. And so I think a lot of times people miss that because they're like, I have this, I have this. I feel
Yeah.
like one of the things I saw with you guys is not only do you honor your time, you
Mhm.
honor your time with your legacy, and that's healthy. And
Mhm.
then you honor your time with your company because you're doing that. And it's in both ways, it's created wealthy situations for you. I can't wait to see what your
Mhm.
kids are like when they grow up.
Me too.
Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying the show. Make sure you click the link below and pick up one of these Sisters at You books. This book is some of the things that me and the ladies are talking about. It has a lot of helpful tools in this book. Don't get discouraged by the spine. It's not a journal. It's a book. It just allows you to flip it back and do things like this. So click the link below or tiffany.com, tiffynee.com, and pick this up. Sisters at You or sistersatyou.com. Enjoy the rest of the show and stuff. So tell us a little bit about like the health is wealth and in both ways because you have I just was speaking to somebody yesterday and they were like, I saw her make $1 million in one day, and they were like
That
mind
was
blown
crazy.
and
That was
stuff.
crazy. Man, first of all, thank you for that because we don't even notice, you know what I mean? Like that other people are noticing that. But it is very important to us how we react or interact with our children, right? I don't know, just teaching them about healthy relationships and again, healthy boundaries, but not just with other people, with themselves and what they need to do, in order to, again, be fulfilled and be happy. First of all, they're children, so they don't care that we're at work. And and we had to realize that, like, wait a minute, y'all don't care. But we had to also tell them, like, mommy and daddy, we have to work. Y'all like this nice house that we live in? Y'all like these trips that daddy takes us on? Yes? Okay, we gotta go to work.
Yeah.
But at the same time, understanding that they're children. They don't understand the value of money. They don't understand the value of material things. I mean, they do, but they don't. You know what I
Right.
mean? But I just think it's important that we lift them up as much as possible and that we let them know that nothing is more important, even though this is important, this empire that we're building, this is for them. This is for us too, okay? Because I work too hard to not enjoy it.
Right.
But this is for them. So it's like, hey, listen, we gotta work. Let us work. You guys go play.
Yeah.
We got to build. We talk to them. We talk to them and we try to get them to understand. Some things they understand, some things they don't. Some things they care about and most things they don't. um, but also, yeah, like I said, creating those healthy relationships with my family, and therefore they have my back, so I can trust that if I go anywhere, I know that my empire is taken care of, and that's important too, because a healthy working relationship is like
Yeah.
crucial to building an empire. Having a team that honors you and that you honor as well is also important, because that's how things fall apart. Like we talked about the foundation, right?
Yeah.
Like if that foundation is wobbly, girl, it don't matter how tall that building is up to, it's gonna fall down eventually, right?
Right.
So I try to keep my foundation healthy, right?
Yeah.
That's from my children to my mother to my brothers, my cousins, everybody that's in here. This is our foundation. So that's important. And then as far as the, I guess, physical health part goes, or the nutritional health, health is wealth. Like it doesn't matter how much money you have. If you're not healthy, you can't enjoy it,
You're right.
right? It doesn't matter. Like, yeah, making $1 million a day is great, but what if I'm like sick in bed? I can't even celebrate that.
Right.
Because
Right.
so healthy on all aspects is important. Healthy in the mind is really important too,
Right.
because you can jack yourself up, girl. If you're not healthy up here, none of this stuff is possible. You know what
You're
I mean?
right.
So,
I think a lot of people, and one of the things, it's so funny because when I was going to have you on the show, I was like, there were two topics I wanted to talk about, and it
mhm,
was self made. And I know you don't feel like you have a team, but then also self help. And one thing I've noticed about outside people, they're so quick to be like, I want to be a millionaire. I want to be this. I want to be that. Right.
yeah.
And they don't know the behind the scenes of that. And this is why it was really important to have you on the show, because I think talking about health
Mhm.
and it correlating with wealth,
Mhm.
that the fact that you're also saying my body can only take me to my body has to take me to the places of where my wealth can get. And if
Mhm.
I'm not healthy in that, where does that go? I'm just like an empty dead cell, right?
Yeah.
Shell. And
So,
so I think you just explaining to people about how it looks for you, because I even watched you, and this is one of the things you just were talking about your kids. I watched one of your kids was crying,
mhm.
and most parents are like, "Man, be quiet," or da da da. And it was funny because we were getting ready to film,
Yep.
and you guys stopped. You're like, "Hey, we acknowledge that we're there. Hey guys, we need to handle this really quick. We have a situation or whatever." And I love the fact that it was even a situation and not just like, "Get out of here," because you had your mom there and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
the attentiveness
Yeah.
that you gave to giving somebody room
Yeah.
to be able to actually, because health is also being able to allow yourself to be vulnerable
Absolutely.
and let the things out, so you're not bottling all that stuff in, running around here like a ticking time bomb. um,
Absolutely.
and so one of the things that I think I've admired just in a short amount of time is that your ability to know that your body has to take you wherever it's going to go, and your wealth is only the product of that, right? Like
Absolutely.
all those things and stuff. And so, can you speak about maybe more about um, what being wealthy now that you are? Because you said when I thought rich people only could afford the gym. This
Yes.
is good.
Yes. Yes.
And now you, in people's mind, you're considered like, oh, that's wealthy. You can buy a gym, or yeah, I understand. But
Mhm.
what does that look like for you? And how do you tell people like, "Yeah, chill, because it takes more than what you know to get there."
That's a really good question. Like, Um, well, I think that people have to realize, first of all, that again, the boundaries being set, the taking care of your mental health, your physical health. Um, if you don't have that clarity, right, you won't be able to create wealth for yourself, right? You run around like a chicken with his head cut off, as my grandma would say. You can't focus. You can't, create. You can't be the best version of yourself in order to be wealthy because you have no balance. And so balance is key as well. So just like there's discipline, discipline and more discipline, and then there's balance, balance, balance. Because people be like, team no sleep. Get some sleep.
Yes.
Get some sleep. Sleep, right?
Right.
Because look, so you got okay, so look, you have these wealthy, like super wealthy people that go hard, 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 right? And then at the end of their lives, or when they're like older, they're trying so hard to buy health. And what I
Mm.
mean by that, they're buying, you know, I don't want to get too deep into the black market, okay? But they're buying organs because they're like, whatever it's going to take for me to now be healthy, like you should have been thinking about that before. So health is really wealth, Tiffany. Like it really, really, really is. That's first and foremost. And then, as far as like being wealthy, a lot of people, they think they want to be wealthy. And I'm not saying that I'm not enjoying it, don't get me wrong. But it is a lot harder than you think, because there's so much responsibility in that. And not just with yourself, but with your family, with
Yeah.
your community, with the people that you're providing a service for. You want to always make sure, at least for us, we try to make sure that everything is top quality, top notch, from their experience with the customer service to their experience with our products, to their experience with their results, all of these things. So it's a lot of, it's like a lot of parts, moving parts when it comes to making a lot of money. And now I wish this on everyone that wants it, but just understand that it does come with its ups and downs, but you have to think about that balance, especially if you have kids, especially if you have a spouse, especially if you have other things that you want to do, hobbies and things like that. You have to learn the balancing act. So I think that is really important. And like I said, rest, 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 please.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
think for me, I'm really big on words, and so I always like to take health outside of what it usually says. And
Mhm.
so when I think about health and wealth, I think about how a lot of our community has a poverty mindset.
Yes. Yeah.
And not just, and the funny thing is, in this conversation really just taps into, it's not just in money, it's in body health, wealth.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
so it's like you don't take care that this is the moneymaker, right?
Yeah.
This is where the seed is in, and this is you're also the person that's going to collect the harvest. So
Exactly. Exactly.
if it's not ready, you can actually, your body can be in poverty as
Mhm.
well. And I think that as you speak, one of the things I love is that you guys also manufacture your own stuff.
Woo! Yes. 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 We do. We know exactly what's in it. You know what I mean? And again, it's just important. Our community, this is not exclusive to our community, but it is made for us. A lot of times these companies, these supplement companies, are just feeding us bullcrap. They don't care. It's money. Like, we're in a $1 trillion business, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? So supplements are huge. A lot of times they're just making stuff and they're like, okay, they need it. But for us,
right.
we know exactly what's in it. We know what our body needs. You know what I mean? Because it is different. It is different. Our bodies are made up different. Everybody says, oh, no, it is. It's different. Okay. And maybe we can talk about that on another podcast. But like, for example, we are deficient in vitamin D.
D, yes.
Yes. So we are creating things that we are proud of and proud to give to our community and to other people, of course. So it's been crazy. Like, the journey of manufacturing has been bananas.
I
Okay.
I love it because I think one of the things that people need to recognize in this and in your gift, right? That you are so body conscious right now that you're saying whatever I give you, I want to make sure that I know exactly what's putting inside of you. I remember a couple weeks ago my daughter wanted some tomato soup.
Mm-hmm.
And my daughter has really bad gastric issues and certain things, she bloats.
Mm-hmm.
And I told my husband, like, hey, run me to the store real quick. I just looked up on TikTok how to make homemade tomato soup. So I was like, I'm
Hey,
gonna try this.
yes.
And a couple of days later, she had ate it. She's like, oh my God, this is amazing. And so then she was like, why'd you go out of your way for me? And I said, because I need to start being mindful of what I have authority in putting in your body.
Yes.
And I said, and if I'm not aware of that, then I'm not really having good stewardship over what God gave me to take care of, which is my children.
Absolutely.
And because I was just fed McDonald's and doing supersize me,
Right.
and stuff like that. I was the person go through Wendy's, sit in the parking lot, and just to see if I was still hungry, if I needed to go back again.
Oh, you were worse than me.
So I was like,
Let me finish this last fry and see if I'm still hungry.
right, a mess.
That's
But
hilarious.
now understanding, like you said, you start to do your research and you start to see like certain things where there was fillers and they're just like whatever's cheap that I can just make a bunch of this because hey, a bunch of people are buying this. And
Yes.
I'm very impressed with the fact that you are very conscious and aware of what you are putting in your audience and your clients' bodies and what you're giving them. And I think that I just want to give you your flowers
Thank you. I was
because
like,
I think
oh, go ahead. Go ahead. I'll tell you when you're there.
I was just gonna say because I think not a lot of people think about that. They think that they're more concerned with the wealth instead of the health. And you're like, in order for me to continue this, I need my customers have to be healthy as well. And
Yeah.
stuff. So
And I'm not, well, and I think too, like, first of all, I wanted to say congratulations for making that tomato soup from scratch. Because, hold on, no, because you don't understand. Like, I think that's so dope because, like, a lot of it does take, being intentional, and it's not easy always making things because, especially if you have a busy life. So, kudos to you. I'm giving you your flowers, okay?
thank you.
Because I know what it is. My kids, like, I love to cook, and we're vegan, so it's a little bit harder. Like in Texas, you probably got to cook a lot anyways because it's not a lot of options, right? So I'm fine with that. But my kids, like, they won't. Not that they won't eat canned soup because I like to make their food.
Mm,
So I feel like the way that I feed my family, because I feel like my supporters are my family, the way that I feed my
mm,
family is how I feed my community. You understand what I'm saying? So I wouldn't put anything in their bodies that I wouldn't put in the people that I love. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Put in the bodies of the people that I care about tremendously. You understand? So that's why we take it so seriously. Like, I don't play about the products and I don't play about my community. I don't play about my supporters. Like, I love them and they know that. So I love that. I love that they know how much we care about them. But yeah, we teach our children that health is wealth as well. Like, they're like, oh, mommy, I'm eating my greens. Mommy, I'm eating this and eating that. And they've seen people that are sick and they don't want that for themselves. They don't want that for their mother or father. And so we're very intentional how we eat at home as well. Like, it's extra work, but it's better than having to go and take 15, 16 prescription pills. You understand? Like, every day of your life, right? So
Right.
you can either create your future and it go up, or you create your future and it go down. You choose which direction that you want to go. You have the choice. You just
Yeah.
have to make that choice. And I think that people also feel, especially like in our community, it's like, oh, that's just the way I was raised. That doesn't mean that you have to continue down that path. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, listen, when I went vegan, could you imagine? Like, everybody was like, wait,
What?
what are you doing? I'm talking about, I used to like cook pork chops. Man, like, my family would fight over the pork chops because they were so good. They were delicious, but like all types of food, like all the butter, all the this, all the that, just not being health conscious at all because you like worried about more so the flavor, or this is what you grew up on. You know what I mean?
Right.
So this is how I cook. But guess what? When that doctor says, okay, you have diabetes, or okay, you have this, or oh, you have that, people don't take it seriously, especially our community. We don't take it seriously until we're on our deathbeds, or until the doctor is like, you eat like this again, you keep doing this, you're not going to make it. And then you're like,
Yeah.
oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
And then it's hard. So I say this because it is difficult to just go cold turkey for a lot of people. So I say one meal at a time. You know what I mean? Like, or one thing at a time within your meal. So say you like, I don't know, say you do like fried pork chops. Okay. Instead of two, maybe one. Right. And instead of I don't know, something super buttery and salty on the side, maybe have a salad and a fried pork chop. Okay. I ain't trying to
Yeah.
take too much away from you, but I'm saying like start to do that process of elimination one by one and you'll get there. And it's not that you can't be healthy and happy with what you eat. Like a lot of people like, I ain't trying to eat no cardboard. I ain't trying to eat no trees. Like, oh my God. You, you know that's how we are, right? We be like, I don't want that. And that's another reason why it's so important for our proteins to taste delicious, because you think vegan proteins and you're like, no, thank you.
Right. No,
I'm
you're
good.
absolutely right.
Because a lot of the vegan proteins I've had in the past taste like you just went outside and was like, just hand me some of those leaves, and then I'll take a side of the grass. We're gonna put it in some milk. We're gonna blend it up and we're gonna drink it. Disgusting. That's how it tasted. So I was like, nah, we gotta create something delicious and something that reminds us of our childhood and of our community. You know what I mean? So that we can relate to it. And it's like, oh wait, this tastes like sweet potato pie. I could do this.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, this does taste like a blueberry muffin. I can do this. Oh, this does taste like chocolate cake. Okay, I could do this. And so we try to make it easier for people to be more healthy, and more health conscious. So yeah, I think that's dope. Kudos to you for making that tomato soup, boo.
Girl, let me tell you, I've actually gotten into I now make a lot of homemade stuff.
Hmm.
And to be honest with you, people, it tastes better. It
It
literally
really does.
tastes better.
It does.
And I remember I was doing some research and on the mind and stuff, and I was how cakes and stuff even got in the bags and stuff like that, how they were just trying to make it easier for women and stuff. And when I
Mhm.
read the research, and I was like, and then how they everything used to just be pour, right? You just would buy it and it would pour and then it make it. Then they said that women weren't being as enthusiastic or
Oh,
really taking care of their craft. So then they said crack an egg and pour some oil, because they noticed that the more things that they added. Now, this is companies, this is manufacturers talking to psychologists and asking them what can they do to make this thing more appetizing or whatever that people would buy. And it was like the more women could do more, then they would actually take pride in their work
huh.
and stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then they did this thing on mice, and it's a very interesting thing, and that's a whole nother show. But what I saw was laziness, pure
Yeah.
laziness, and being able to say, instead of you not knowing what's in it, you would rather buy it from someone to put in it. And I think we now pick our favorite meals from restaurants and we make them at
Yeah.
home. Like,
Yeah.
we're like,
Yeah.
I can do that. And I'm like, and I'm bomb cooking. So I'm just like, I can make that even better. And I know who touched it, if they washed their hands, if they didn't, what meat they got, and
Yep. All of
I've
that.
been very mindful about not shopping. Now I just shop on the outskirts of the store and
Hmm.
not in the middle, because I somebody was like, that's where all the processed stuff is. And so
Right.
that's something that I'm trying to get into. So I appreciate everything that you
Yeah.
are preaching and stuff,
Yeah.
because I'm someone that does need a healthy body, and
Mhm.
I do have an assignment to actually take myself to higher places, but I can't do that if I'm not taking 17 pills
Come
a
on.
day and
Come
stuff and not
on.
healthy. I got look now. I just need to get on the working out thing.
Hey, one workout at a time. Look. Speaking of, you can sign up for my online gym.
I will do that.
If you can move.com, and we do monthly challenges, and our community is amazing because again, everybody don't always feel like getting up and moving around. So sometimes they'll type in the community like, yo, today I don't feel like it. And then you'll have a bunch of people underneath like, look, sis, I'm doing mine. Look, sis, I'm doing, and it's just like, oh, okay.
It does
Okay.
help.
It oh man, it helps so much. And so
It does
so yeah,
help.
you'll see when you join.
I
It's
am gonna join. I
amazing.
actually was supposed to do it yesterday, and then I got sidetracked. So my last question is: what are 3 to 5 things that you could share with the audience today about conquering like self-help for themselves.
Okay, so again, discipline, balance, discipline. Like again, if you're not motivated, you still got to get up. So just like you're disciplined to brush your teeth, hopefully, I'm not judging. What I'm saying, that's something usually people do every single day. Make an appointment for yourself. You know what I mean? Put yourself as a priority because a lot of times we don't prioritize ourselves, especially
Yeah,
mothers, you know, wives, students. Like there's always something more important than us. No, there's not. Because how are you going to help somebody when you are jacked up? You know what I mean? How you going to fill up somebody else's cup when yours is empty, right? You can't
right.
do that. So there's that, there's the discipline, there's the balance, there's the prioritizing yourself. It's okay to be selfish in that way, right? And then of course, giving yourself grace, you know, don't beat yourself up, don't talk to yourself crazy, continue to like talk to yourself. Look, if somebody else said some of the things that you say to yourself to you, you would be in jail, okay? At least I would. And I ain't got time for that because I'm building some legacies here, right? So, you know, be nice to yourself, be graceful, and take it. And then my last thing is take it one day at a time, one move at a time, one exercise at a time. Love on yourself, love who you are. I'll end it with this. Like I said, love who you are while working on who you want to be. So there's no excuse not to love every ounce of you, every journey, every part of you during this journey, because we're always trying to grow. We're always trying to evolve, right? So I can't say that I didn't love myself, you know, I didn't at the time, but love yourself while you're trying to lose that weight. Love yourself while you're struggling with your business. Love yourself while you're going through mental illness, or love yourself while you're going through depression, because you know, that's all that we have is ourselves, right? So if we don't have us, we don't have anything.
You're absolutely right. And one thing that you just said is that you said it could be selfish. I actually would tell people that it's self-full. It's
Mhm.
better to be self-full because then you
Yes.
can't pour like and then what comes out of your cup is for others,
Come
right?
on, come
And
on.
so what's in your cup is for you and keep it full so you
The
can always
overflow
have.
is for
Yes,
everybody. Come on.
absolutely. I just want to thank you so much for being a guest on Talking with Tiffany and talking about this. Can you tell our audience where they can find you and how they can get in touch and how they can get your things?
Yes, yes. Oh man. Okay. So first of all, thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure. You're amazing, by the way. Y'all,
Thank you.
her and Brandon killed it on the podcast. I can't wait for y'all to watch that. It's the Perfect Couple podcast. Um,
Yes.
Anywhere that you listen to podcasts at, they will be a part of season 3. Knocked it out the park, right? So I just had to say that. And then as far as finding us and being able to support us, we have different brands, but the main one we talked about today was the main two we talked about today was justmovesupplements.com, which is our vegan premium supplement brand with nostalgically delicious protein. So please check that out. It's going to help you basically lose the tummy, keep the curves, and give you all the vitamins and minerals that you need, right? On a daily basis, because we don't get enough of that. And then we also have the online gym. If you can move.com, we have an app that you can download, cast it to your TV, get your workout on in your living room or anywhere that you want to be. We have an amazing community that are just like me and you. We uplift each other. We push each other to be great and to get to the finish line, wherever that may be. Um, we also have clothing lines, PageAndAmari.com. That's our luxury brand. And then we have Say It Loud, which is our Black and I'm proud type vibes. Okay. So check that out as well. That's sayit-loud.com, PageAndAmari.com. And then you can just find me if you are like, okay, girl, that's a lot of stores, that's a lot of brands. Okay, fine. All right. Because we also have teamlashay.com, which is fitness accessories. So don't give me that. Oh, I ain't got no bands. We got them. Oh, I ain't got no waist snatchers. We got them. Okay. So we got everything you need. We're a one-stop shop. Okay. Um, Follow me on Instagram, Keaira Lashae, KeairaLashae. And in my bio, you'll see all of the brands. You can follow all of those and support. And you can also check out the Perfect Couple podcast, which is me and my husband, where we talk about relationships and all these great things that me and Tiffany just discussed as well. So Yeah.
Love it, love it, love it. Thank you, everybody. Please check her out. And Lashae, I just asked you to do a cute little pose. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure you tune in to season 2 with Talking with Tiffany. This season, we have a lot of impactful, powerful guests that are going to dive really deep into some of these words that we put self in front of. You know how I say every time you put the word self in front of a word, you minimize the word in front of it. But these people are actually doing these words wholeheartedly. So check out season 2, press subscribe, like it, and share, please. Enjoy your week.